Hey there, SourceFedNERD here, ready to dish out the stories of the day.
Ready?
No. I'm Sam.
And I'm Maud, and it turns out Metal Gear Solid 5 has early reviews out, and they are woo. Oh.
Universal brings in the coin without superhero movies. Suicide Squad, Civil War, and many other movies have wrapped too.
But first, the source is meeting the Force, because J.J. Abrams has dropped a bomb that the new evil villain Kylo Ren, even though he wields a red lightsaber that's indicative of a Sith, he's not a Sith Lord.
Before you gasp, he is still part of the evil empire, which is now called the First Order. Kylo leads a team called the Knights of Ren that, confirmed by JJ, works under Supreme Leader Snoke, which is a powerful figure on the dark side of the Force. Snoke is played by leading mocapper Andy Serkis.
And for you guys playing at home, Sam actually really has a hard time getting his head around the words
Snoke. I read it and I snook.
Snook.
Every goddamn time I read it.
Supreme Grand Villain of the Snook.
Snook. Yeah, Snoke is more threatening than Snook.
Just because he isn't a Sith Lord like Emperor Palpatine or Darth Vader doesn't mean he's not in tune with the Force or kind of hold it and grasp it and use it against people. It more implies that perhaps with the former master and apprentice, no one has necessarily taught the new crew the ways of the dark side since it is 30 years later. And maybe these guys are actually joining forces
Pun intended.
to restore the Order of the Sith, hence the crossblade. But this is merely my speculation that I've formed until the movies comes out in December.
In more movie news, Suicide Squad is in the news today, but not for what you might be thinking.
Okay.
Sure, production has wrapped on the Squad, as well as Captain America Civil War, Independence Day Resurgence, and X-Men Apocalypse. But that's not what we want to talk about.
It's actually a pretty sweet little story. You see, in the city of Toronto,
Where the film is being
a
shot.
little girl named Naama has been raising money for her brother, Nadav, who was diagnosed with a rare neurological illness by way of a lemonade stand. This little girl's story gained international attention when the two Aussie squaddies, Margot Robbie and Jai Courtney, went to support the girl's efforts. I heard about Naama's story and what she was doing for her brother Nadav, Jai stated. There's no act too small when you're talking about making a difference.
Naama has actually made quite the difference indeed. She has raised 64,000 Canadian dollars, which is roughly 48,000 US, to support FAST, the Foundation for Angelman Syndrome Therapeutics. In the words of a great man, it's stuff like this that's got me feeling good. Now all I can imagine is how weird it's gonna be when kids are like, "Thanks, Suicide Squad."
Hey, speaking of future blockbusters, Universal Studios has raked in a whopping 5.5 billion smackers this year. Guys, that's the studio that brought us Jurassic World, Fury 7, Minions, Pitch Perfect 2, just to name a few of those huge movies this year.
You might be thinking to yourself, "Psh, that's not a lot of money."
I'm not thinking that.
Well, listen up, kids, because Universal made this monstrous amount of money without a superhero or young adult movie. That's pretty insane.
Hey, sure, Universal's top 5 hits may be sequels or adaptations, but that's still impressive for a studio to have 2 of their films this year make it onto the list of highest grossing movies in history. 2015, big year for you guys.
It's interesting to see that on said list, 2 of the highest grossing movies are Avatar and Titanic, both very original films, and it makes me wonder if original films even have a chance to take off and become successful hits anymore.
You're not the only one thinking this, because writer of the hit film Chronicle and the recently released American Ultra, Max Landis, took to Twitter last night to vent his frustrations about original stories in Hollywood. Unfortunately, American Ultra hasn't been doing so great at the box office, being beaten out by both Sinister 2 and Hitman Agent 47, which has got us like, because both of those movies have actually rated worse on Rotten Tomatoes, and one of them's a sequel while the other one is a reboot sequel, respectively.
Landis tweeted, "It seems the reviews didn't even matter. The movie didn't matter. The argument that can and will be made is big level original ideas don't."
A sad but honest statement. It's been a good while since an original idea has captured the attention of audiences worldwide and beaten out a sequel, prequel, remake, reboot. Is it impossible for it to happen again?
Maybe our generation doesn't care anymore, but what do you guys think?
And trending in video games, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I hate to nerd out like this, but the Phantom Pain, isn't that like when you lose a limb and you can feel the pain in said missing limb? All I can think of was when Jaime Lannister lost his hand, spoiler for season 3, I think it is, of Game of Thrones, but he's just like, in the books, I'm reading it the whole time, and he's just like, oh, my hand's throbbing, because it's his sword hand, and he's like, no, what am I gonna do without it? Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't gonna watch that.
Look, the game isn't even out until September, which is soon away, but the reviews are already in and they are good.
Not only that, but they've dropped the trailer, so here's a quick recap. You see a really cool look at the evolution of Solid Snake in his action stealth franchise kicking it off in 1998. It also acts as a cool catch-up for new fans before they dig into this new title, which, by the sounds of these early reviews blasting up the internet, they will.
Typically, early reviews means that the embargo is lifted, allowing reviewers to publish their opinions. So if the studio feels like their movie or game is fucking solid gold, they will lift embargoes early to help spread that hype machine and get everyone pre-ordering up a storm. Money, tickets. Now here's just a little taste of what the reviews are saying.
Let's kick off with the 2 perfect scores. IGN gives it a solid 10 out of 10, saying The Phantom Pain is the kind of game I thought would never exist, one where every minute gameplay detail has true purpose. GameSpot also gives it a 10 out of 10, saying The Phantom Pain may be a contender for one of the best action games ever made, but is undoubtedly the best Metal Gear game there is.
Destructoid gives it a stellar 9 out of 10, saying that even though there are big changes, there's still plenty of silliness that ensues. Crazy mutated boss fights, tons of robots, and Easter eggs for days. And Game Informer is giving it a 93 out of 100. A series can't survive this long without evolving, and The Phantom Pain is a testament to the importance of taking risks. The gameplay, storytelling, and protagonists in Metal Gear may shift with each new installment, but Kojima's ability to surprise and enthrall gamers remains unchanged. Nice! So chat to us, are you keen on The Phantom Pain?
Can original movies succeed at the box office anymore?
Do you think Adam Driver could ever be as powerful as Vader?
Comment below now. Say it more.
More.
Shit! I wish I had 6 toes on each foot. Here are SourceFedNERD's headlines. The Rock joins Disney's Jungle Cruise movie.
Xbox entertains further backwards compatibility.
Warner Brothers is making a Dante's Inferno movie.
But first, I have the